to Shaw TV's coverage of the 72nd Alberni District Fall Fair Parade. I'm one of your hosts, Nancy Wilmot, and I am here with...
Brent Ronning.
And Brent, we've been doing this together for a few years now. Has it ever rained on a Fall Fair Parade with me?
Never. You're always bringing sunshine, Nancy.
Always sunny, but today is an anomaly. It's raining.
And I think people are ready for it because we've needed some rain in the valley, and people are out here with their brollies and watching the parade.
And you know what? Port Alberni loves a parade. People are very tenacious. They are out here prepared for the rain, waiting for the first group, which will, of course, be the West Coast Highlanders, pipes and drums. We luckily are dry today. We are under our very luxurious Shaw Media tent, which is a good thing. I wouldn't want to mess up your hair, Brent.
It's a gazebo.
It's a gazebo. We have our own media gazebo.
I can hear them. They're coming. They're currently celebrating their 27th year in Port Alberni, the West Coast Highlanders Pipes and Drums. They were formed in 1990, and they really have been a fixture in all sorts of island parades and special events ever since. They've competed in competitions at Courtenay, Victoria, Penticton. They even went to Abashiri in Japan, where they played for the city's anniversary celebration.
And you know, we've got some crew here today from out of town, folks that drove up from Victoria and down from Courtenay. And I heard somebody say it's not a parade unless you've got bagpipes. And of course, we've got bagpipes. Oh, and here is the Alberni Valley Legion 293 Color Party. The Color Party, of course, are the brave ladies and gentlemen who carry our flags, carry the colors of the Legion. Legion is made up of volunteers who give their time to assist veterans, senior homes, and charities in the valley. And the Legion has asked citizens to proudly acknowledge the national flag, the Color Party, by standing as it passes by. I hear some applause in the audience, as there should be. Legion Branch 293, of course, has the crown and anchor at the fair. Did you play it last night, Brent?
No, I'm going tonight.
Well, there you go. Oh, and here comes the West Coast Highlanders, pipes and drums. I think we should just listen for a minute.
You know, they practice every Wednesday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Aerosmith Church Hall on Glenside.
Yeah. Immediately behind them, of course, we have some more proud members of Legion Branch 293 riding under umbrellas. They brought their own brollies, and followed by the handy dart, which is always there to give folks a ride if the weather is inclement.
Like today.
Like
or if
today.
someone gets a little tired.
A little tired, absolutely. And of course, we do have some World War II veterans. It's a long walk. And here we have Gord Johns, our MP. He was elected as a Member of Parliament for Courtenay Alberni in October, of course. Now, Gord is sponsoring a parliamentary bill for a national cycling strategy and just completed a 13-day cycling tour of the whole riding, meeting with constituents in all 26 communities. He's not on a bike today, though. He's riding, or he's walking.
There's Sarah, Candace.
Graham.
There's Graham Hughes.
So much going on. Oh, and here we have the Grace Lutheran Church.
So it looks like they're celebrating the 500th anniversary of Reformation. So you're all invited on October 28th at 1 p.m. to Grace Lutheran Church to celebrate the 500th anniversary of the Reformation. And they have a monk with them.
I believe that is Martin Luther himself. Well, maybe a representation of Martin Luther.
I think he actually shaved his head.
Just for this. Oh, there it is. There's my truck, Brent.
And there's Darren Kozlowski, the Fall Fair chairman this year.
Okay, so we have the Fall Fair vehicle. You can buy tickets, of course, on the fairground. Darren Kozlowski, one of the busiest guys, chairman of the Alberni District Fall Fair this year. What a job. This is always such a great event. Getting a ride for a change. I've seen him running around on the fairgrounds.
And there's
all
the
week
Kinsman
long.
Club.
Serving the community's greatest needs. Oh, I saw some candies coming our way. And there are some kids riding on the back. Now, I do have to say some of the Some of the floats are a little bit skimpy this year because, of course, it is rainy, but a lot of good folks coming out. They're not afraid of getting wet.
Oh, here's the Navy League cadets. They're
Now-
a 100% volunteer youth program for boys and girls between the ages of 9 to 11, and they meet Wednesday evenings between 6 and 8:30.
And they moved to a new location. They are on Bird Avenue. That's BIRD Avenue, right above Alberni Engineering. You can find out more about them on their Facebook page, Armor Ford Navy League Cadets. Oh, and here is a puddle duck. This is one of the Navy League's little sailboats. Of course, they do sail training. They have all sorts of trips. They do archery and seamanship. And these little puddle ducks may not look like much, but it's enough to learn the finer points of sailing.
And here we have Hoopachesit First Nation.
Oh, now that is a float. I see some dancers. I see some costumes.
And a lot of cedar in the rain, which
Oh.
is something we're quite familiar with in the Alberni Valley.
Absolutely, cedar in the rain. If anybody knows that, Port Alberni does, and the Hoopachesit First Nation certainly does. Now, have you tried their maple syrup that is being produced in Claycoot?
I haven't yet, but everyone says
Ho,
I have
ho,
to.
ho.
It's apparently amazing.
Amazing maple syrup being produced. They've got a sugaring shack right next to the House of Gathering. Quite wonderful. Are we going to be treated to a dance here?
I think we are.
Costuming is extraordinary. Oh, and I see some young members of the Hoopachesit First Nation handing out water. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. Beautiful float.
That's great. That's wonderful community involvement from their members.
Now, if you ever wondered why cedar was used for weavings, you'll see it's very waterproof. They've got these wonderful hats woven from cedar. Now, I don't know how much of this folks can hear. I don't know how much the audio is picking up. We have drummers, we have dancers. Quite extraordinary. I don't remember a dance performance being done in the parade before.
No, we haven't seen this on 10th Avenue. This is great.
This is huge. Oh, hummingbird costume. I saw the hummingbird mask.
Sassin.
Sassin. And this is Wolf up at the front, I think.
Yeah, that looks like Wolf. And there's some beautiful work on the dance shawls that the women are wearing.
Absolutely. This is a living culture. wonderful to see the young dancers out. I think it bears mentioning that when the dance begins, those wearing the masks aren't representing hummingbirds or wolves. They become hummingbird and wolf.
Yeah.
So many members of the Hoopachesit First Nation. What a wonderful demonstration.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, that was lovely. And we're not done with Hoopachesit yet. We have the Hoopachesit canoe coming.
And there's a number of children in there with their paddles.
Again, decorated with cedar. Now, of course, Hoopachesit also has Suma'a Seafoods, very sustainable seafood, sustainable fisheries, just part of their economic development plan. Oh, look at these youngsters, proud members of the Hoopachesit First Nation. Have the white Northern Dancer canoe and another canoe with a few older paddlers and a few young paddlers as well. Wonderful representation from the Hoopachesit First Nation this year. Beautiful canoes. Oh my gosh, and we have two more walkers wearing, I believe those are salmon masks.
Yes.
Now, I have never seen salmon walkers in the parade, salmon and cedar.
This is a first for the Fall Fair Parade.
It is a first for the Fall Fair Parade. It's
And it
quite
won't be the last,
wonderful.
I'm sure.
No, I'm sure. This is wonderful. And again, yet another vehicle from the Hoopachesit First Nation decorated with masks. One of their fisheries vehicles, fisheries boats.
Yeah.
Of course, responsible for habitat restoration, monitoring of fisheries, spawn bed rehabilitation, and UpNet Power Corp. Now, if you think the Hoopachesit aren't involved in this community, think again, because
Yeah.
look at that. This is
Microhydro. And here's their forestry.
forestry. Of course, they have several woodlots, woodlands license. Park maintenance, they do have. Oh,
There's
there's
Dick
Jolene.
waving at us.
They, of course, maintain the Boy Scout Campground, Lowry Campground, the Mint Campground, Arden Creek Campground, and the Clackwood Arm Campground.
Environmental waste management.
Oh my gosh, they are so busy. How do they have time to get into a parade? When did they practice the dancing? My goodness. Hoopachesit First Nation, of course, doing all sorts
And they,
of
of
things.
course, have a booth at the Fall Fair this year as
Nootka
well.
Insurance, don't tell me they offer insurance as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, here's somebody who's having so much fun. Wouldn't you love to be driving one of those in a parade?
I don't know that I could.
I think it would be great fun. Decorated with cedar, yet another Hoopachesit First Nations vehicle. Now, one bobcat with attitude, I think.
He's taken out a cedar or two.
Taking out a cedar or two. That cedar was no match for him. Woo! I think that might have been a Toy Run guy. Getting ahead of the game. Oh, here we have the lovely Ladysmith ambassadors. Traveling up to Port Alberni. I'm sorry we couldn't arrange better weather for you ladies, but lovely to have you here. They can sing. Now, I believe we have the Port Alberni District Labour Council here. There's a few gaps in the parade this year. I don't know if that is weather related or if that is just fun related. If they get a receiving audience and they're just having a blast.
And I think that we're having Toy Run people amusing us within the gaps.
They are. They're just having too much fun. Not often you see guys riding motorcycles with rubber boots on, but hey, it's kind of a Port Alberni thing.
And they've got lots of those stuffed animals are enjoying themselves.
Soggy stuffed animals, I might add. Okay, I shouldn't say soggy because it's, it never rains on a Port Alberni parade, does it?
And we needed this rain.
We totally did. We are now here at the Port Alberni District Labour Council, which serves the Alberni Valley and west coast of Vancouver Island. And since 1965, they have worked to promote healthy communities and strong economies. Their motto is buy union, buy local, and buy Canadian.
And here
It's
is
a pretty good motto.
The Elite Dance Academy. They're going into their fourth year in business, and they're growing and expanding every year. They offer classes in dance as young as 18 months through to adult in ballet, tap, modern, contemporary, musical theater and vocals, hip-hop and jazz, as well as art classes. They're available for recreational competitive students, and from September 11th until the third weekend in June. You can go to their website at www.elitedanceacademy.org for more info.
Brant, look at the enthusiasm of these young dancers. I can't believe we're almost at the end of the parade. Look at how they're jumping. Look at how they're dancing and moving. That's wonderful. And I've just got to say something. They're selling Krispy Kreme donuts at the fair as a fundraiser. So, folks, if you crave a Krispy Kreme, stop in at the Elite Dance Academy booth at the Fall Fair.
Oh, we've got two sororities here. Beta Sigma Phi celebrates 67 years in Port Alberni, and they have 7 active chapters with 109 members. They have a meeting either once or twice a month during the months of September to June. This year, their annual Founders Day celebration in April, they honored 3 women into the golden circle of 50 years of membership.
Hey, they're blowing bubbles in the rain. I love that. Now, that is optimism. They're finding joy even on a rainy day. Hey, we have the Alberni Valley Curling Club coming up. Welcome to the Alberni Valley Ladies Bonspiel. This club was founded in 1952, has an enrollment of 150 enthusiastic curlers. They're always looking for new members. On Friday, September 2nd, oh, did we miss that? The club is offering free curling for everyone 10 years and up. Stop by. There's always a chance to try out curling. They'd love to invite you to their curling rink.
And there's the Mackenzie School of Dance. They've been operating continuously in the Alberni Valley for over 45 years. They offer classical ballet, Highland, Celtic, and creative movement for ages 3 and up.
We have got such an active dance community in the Alberni Valley. Mackenzie School of Dance is just one more. Of course, you know them for Highland dancing, but they're much more than Highland dancing. And there is the sheriff, Patty Mackenzie herself. Now that is a lovely float. Very Scottish, don't you think?
It looks very Scottish.
Very Scottish. I love it.
Is that an Aaron Vissia Financial?
That is AV Financial. Now, how did Aaron Vissia get into that little car? I don't know. He's got to be 6'3", 6'2",
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
AV Financial, from financial planning, accounting services, tax preparation, they have everything. And they have a slow pitch team that they're sponsoring this year, the Aviators. Now, I think that's a very clever name. First year for the slow pitch team, the Aviators, to be competing. They came in 4th this year, so that's pretty darn good.
Well done.
Look at that. Oh, I got an AV Financial hat. Very nice. And pens, thank you. AV Financial. Hello. Don't you just love it when people are handing out candies? I love it. And hats, candies and hats. here we have Stage West School of Performing Arts. They offer recreational and performance team programs for ages 3 up and up. Another dance troupe, another group of enthusiastic young dancers dancing their way down 10th Avenue. It's wonderful. They offer training in ballet, jazz, tap, contemporary, hip hop, and more.
They're doing the Nutcracker this year.
They are. Teaming up with their sister studio, Urban Dance Connection Classical Division. It's the 3rd time they're doing the Nutcracker in Port Alberni in November. Get your tickets now, folks. Hey, this is a co-op. Don't you know something about the co-op?
Things to remember about the co-op. They've been a part of this community for over 80 years. So come on out to the Beaver Creek location on September 15th from 2:30 to 7. You can get your hair cut by a qualified stylist for a minimum donation of only $15. All proceeds go to Cops for Cancer Twitter Rock on September 29th. And also, showing how they always support our community, Co-op September 19th, both locations are having a Fuel Good Day. Did you hear that, Nancy?
I did. Fuel Good Day. Very cool.
They're donating 10 cents from every liter of fuel sold at the pumps to Kids Sport here in Port Alberni.
Wow. And you know, the co-op, national organization Co-ops, donated towards our own waterfront park, formerly known as the Canal Beach Park. You better stop down there because there's some big things happening down there, a lot of it funded by the co-op.
Yeah, it's important to be a member of it.
And I might add, they're moving in just down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Construction is coming along nicely. Oh, I see some top-hatted co-op girls stopping by. Sunglasses, thank you. I've never seen so many giveaways on a parade as today. Do you think they're trying extra hard in this little bit of liquid sunshine?
I think that we're just fortunate because we're in a good location, Nancy.
I think we're just fortunate to live in a community that gets so involved in everything. It's a co-op kind of thing.
It is. What a beautiful float that is.
It is a beautiful float. I must say, there have been some very nice floats today. And they've stood up very well in this little bit of rain. I haven't seen anything drooping too much. Quite a showing from the Alberni District Co-op. Holy cow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 vehicles, not counting the one on the flatbed.
I think I counted 11-7 of them.
11-7 co-op vehicles, that's amazing. But of course, the co-op does have a big presence in this community, so they should have a big presence. Oh, in the parade, there's the youngest co-op member right there.
Oh, here are the 4-H ambassadors. The Van Aisle Ford truck there.
4-H, of course, has such a large presence at the Alberni District Fall Fair. Stop by, the ambassadors, chosen every year to represent what is best about 4-H. And always good ambassadors for the future of our community and of our country. Oh, here we have Vic Laughlin driving his 1917 Ford, and I do believe he has 2 mares in that Ford.
We have a Mike Rattan, Mayor of Port Alberni, and we also have from the town of Cumberland, Mayor Leslie Baird.
For her first Alberni Valley Parade, first time I shouldn't call her Leslie, Mayor Baird has been here, but you know, our own Mayor Rattan has attended 3 parades.
You guys are doing a good job.
The mayor just
staying out of the rain.
the mayor congratulated us for staying out of the rain.
This isn't our first parade, Mr. Mayor. Oh, here we have Starfleet, Alberni Deep Space Port. This is part of the International Star Trek Association, 100% volunteer organization. This is a group that has fun. Check them out, www.sci.sfi.org. They have meetings every month and are dedicated to carrying forward the inspiring vision of the future.
Oh, did we miss the Alberni Valley Bulldogs?
No, say it isn't so.
We're going to be seeing them everywhere.
Everywhere.
All over the community this year, always.
As always. And there is our own Jamie Amos. If there is a more famous person in Port Alberni, I don't know who it is. Janie Amos, there you are. The Alberni Valley Bulldogs, of course, our own Junior A hockey team with a brand new coach this year. Evan Hammond in there. I do believe it might be. Now, the Bulldogs you will see around town doing a lot of community-oriented activities during the next upcoming season. You'll see a little bit of them on Shaw TV as well. We'll be carrying 2 games. In October, we're going to be carrying an away game. Oh, there's Ron Paulson driving the Bulldogs fan, an away game against Victoria. And in February, we will be carrying a home game. But you'll find out more about that with the Clippers or on Shaw TV.
And here's the ADSS cheerleaders. They're here to show off some of their skills. They spent the summer working hard to put together everything you see them performing today. They're made up of students in grades 8 through 12, and they'll continue to train hard during the fall to prepare for basketball season, the Totem Tournament, and their own provincial competitions.
Oh, and right behind them, we have the Parksville Qualicum Shrine Club number 34. Shrine clubs, of course, are a regular feature in our Alberni Valley parades, as is Jezebel.
And everybody knows that there's nothing I love more than Jezebel and a fez.
Absolutely. And so if you can have a motorized camel in a fez, I mean, you've got it all right there.
You made my day. Thank you, Shriners.
All Shriners, of course, are Freemasons, and they help children. In particular, they support burn units. They are always looking for people to help them out.
And they have a number of hospitals all over North America. And look at Jezebel's taxi.
Even a motorized camel gets tired now and then. Oh, and this would be Toy Run.
I believe it's Toy Run.
It's got to be Toy Run. The Port Alberni Toy Run, of course, is the third big event. Happens every September. Toy Run raises money for children's charities, children's services, children's events in the Alberni Valley, and they've given over $1 million. Biggest little toy run on Vancouver Island. Mm-hmm. Makes me want to take up cycling. I could be a rider. I could be part of that. It is, of course, a huge event. Merry Christmas. Dave Witchart, president, I believe, of Port Alberni Toy Run.
Wishing
$1 million and counting.
Christmas.
Well, it is like Christmas because you know what? There's Santa Claus, shows up at every toy run. Oh, and I do see Citizen of the Year, Jeff Cook, coming along, promoting the toy run. Thank you so much. Our own Citizen of the Year. There's so much happening. It is next weekend, September 16th and 17th.
Malimba Boogie Band and Big Daddy are playing at the event.
There's a 50-50 poker run on the Sunday. There's so much going on. Registration 10 a.m. at Little Qualicum Falls. The ride leaves at 12 a.m. sharp. Oh, here we have the Centennial Bells. Look at them wearing their crazy hats. Centennial Bells are, of course, a group of history enthusiasts, fashion enthusiasts, put on the Jane Austen Festival for the second year in a row this year, bringing 150 years of fashions through the ages. There will be a fashion show coming up in the new year. Gotta love those pants, love those hats, love those ladies. And we're going to turn it over to Mr. David Hooper to talk a little bit about the Industrial Heritage Society's entrance.
Good morning. The Centennial Bells are riding on the 2000 Volvo kindly donated by Kingsley Trucking, Scott Robinson. There is a made in Port Alberni red and white paper trailer. That's Tommy Marr and his granddaughter, Katie, riding in there. And here is MLA Scott Fraser riding on 38 Railroad Mac, looking happy, Cabinet Minister. Okay. And that is Rod Clark driving that unit. And here comes 2 visitors from the Duncan Forest Museum, Forest Discovery Center. That's Ron Cook, their chief mechanic and engineer, driving a 1952 Chevy. They're regular visitors of ours, and we're always happy to see them. And here's the oldest thing in the parade, I think, 1918 Maxwell. That's the original logging truck. How'd you like to try hauling fence posts on that unit? Pretty flimsy looking, isn't it? That was Les Stewart driving that unit. He's a friend aboard Alberni. And here's, last but not least, the old log dog. That's Bobby Dingsdale's. He restored it, but he ate too many smoky hot dogs yesterday, so he had to stay home indisposed. That's his son Tony driving it. That's a 1955 Mack. Used to be a lot of those in the valley. And I'll hand back to your regular hosts.
Thank you so much, David. You know what? I always learn a little bit more whenever Mr. Hooper picks up the microphone and tells us about the Industrial Heritage Society entrance. And right now we've got the Alberni Tractor Club with vintage tractors that have been restored. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what Bob's buggy is, but it looks pretty amazing. These tractors have, of course, been lovingly restored. They look nothing like the tractors I remember on the farm because I never saw a tractor polished before, but these ones are labors of love, clearly.
And I now know that the green and yellow ones are John Deere.
Yes, they are. Followed up by a Ford. Ford, I think that's a Farmall, I think. I might be wrong there. Oh, and here we have Mr. Wayne Crawley with his shamrock logging. Oh, with a very strong message. Wayne Crawley, of course, is known to be just a little bit political at times. Sproat Lake Fire Department. It's a volunteer fire department that has been serving the Alberni Valley since 1965, specifically Sproat Lake, but of course, they do respond when necessary to fires outside of their region.
Is this Beaver Creek Fire Department behind them?
No, this is another Sproat Lake Fire Department.
Oh, that's Sprout Lake. Okay.
You got to go by colors, Brent. Come on, know your colors. Yellow is all Sproat Lake.
I just figured out the tractors.
But Cherry Creek is coming up pretty quick with their red trucks. All of our volunteer fire departments are very active, very committed volunteers who do constant upgrading, constant training, and are very well appreciated. You don't necessarily want them to have to come to your place, but if you need them, they're there. Oh, we'll take something. Here we have, well, thank you, freezies. We have so much being given out today. We've got some very young firefighters here in the Cherry Creek Fire Department truck. That's lovely. And of course, our Port Alberni Fire Department coming next.
Followed by the Beaver Creek Fire Department. You're right, I need to know the colors.
You just need to know the colors, Brent. That's all you need. Now, I have to figure this has got to be one of the best things for these young folks who get to ride in the trucks. Fire trucks, sirens, parades. A bit of rain doesn't dampen their spirits at all. And I do believe we are almost at the end of our parade. Parade Marshal Christy Larson, one of the busiest ladies. And you know what she would have to say? See you at the fair.
See ya at the fair.
Thank you so much for watching Shaw TV's coverage of the 72nd Annual Alberni District Fall Fair Parade. We have a volunteer camera crew, Gerald LeBute. We have cameramen that came from Courtney, Gordon Darby, that came from Victoria, John McKenzie. Directing in the truck, we have Darren Evans. I think this is probably his, I don't know, we'll say 75th parade. I kind of pulled that out of the air, but he's done a lot. From both of us, Nancy Wilmot and
I'm Brent Ronning.
have a great time at the fair. See you next year.
See you at the fair.